athletes winning gold medals at the Olympics, but I think Coy Wire here got himself a gold medal moment the other day also.
He sure did.
Coy, you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, boy.
I love it.
Facts.
He has been talking to. So, Coy, before we get into the athletes, your coverage on your social media has been top notch. If you're not following, make sure you follow at Coy Wire. He is covering every inch of the Olympics in Paris right now for CNN. And there I am, scrolling, and I see Coy, and I see Snoop Dogg. And then I saw the most beautiful interaction. Wait for it. Here it is.
Snoop, what'd you think of seeing Simone in person?
Loved it.
How much?
What's up, baby?
Yeah, Coy Wire, CNN. Great to see you, big dog.
You play football for the Falcons.
You know it.
Let him with it.
Snoop knew you and that you played for the Falcons.
That's
Fire.
so cool.
Yeah, it is.
Rise up. That's what I'm talking about. But it kind of bugged me because he was on a roll. That was literally after Simone Biles performed, and he had to usher off to one of the other events he was going to, and he hopped in the car after that, and afterwards I was like, but I wanted him to talk about Simone Biles. That was my whole point going up, so he didn't say anything. It was incredible to run into the legend, Snoop. And, of course, he was carrying the torch here at one point before they lit that cauldron at the start of the games. He has been everywhere, and he's definitely one of the talking points of these Olympics in Paris.
Yeah, after he called you out by name, I felt like you should be on a podium and they should be playing the national anthem.
He should be passing the torch to you at this point.
Are you having a great time there, man?
Man, I am having a great time. It has been smoking hot the past 2 days, but it's so much fun. I'm running around to different events to try to catch the action I can see in person, and then I'm running back over to get up on we have a beautiful rooftop set, y'all. It is incredible on the top of this Hotel Raphael, overlooking the city. I'm looking at the Arc de Triomphe right now off one side, the Eiffel Tower's on the other, and I've already gotten to interview some incredible Olympians from Team USA. We had the women's rugby team who won the first ever medal for the rugby sevens. Ilona Meyer is kind of like their heartbeat and soul. Has about 2 million followers on Instagram because people have seen how she is just a champion for young women. She harps on about like the societal norms and the pressures that young girls face when it comes to body image and that sort of thing. Because she is 5'11", about 195 pounds. Like, she is a beast, and she is the first to tell you, and she's the first to say, and that's okay. Don't put me in no box.
I mean, we've got to talk about Simone Biles. We got a bunch to cover here, but Simone Biles, I mean, it can't even be debated anymore. This is the GOAT, and she's doing things that people haven't done for decades and decades and decades, and it all came together last night.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And she's on this, what she's calling the redemption tour, right? First of all, a lot of haters out there saying they're too old or they lack the talent. So there's that. But there's also, of course, she wants redemption from the last Olympic Games when she battled those mental blocks and had the twisties. But there she is now. I mean, just on the biggest stage. Oh, funny moment. Before the team competition, they introduce the whole team. First, they step out of the tunnel, and they line up, and then they call everyone's name, and they all wave together. She was so hyped to get back out there. She walked out of the tunnel, and she just starts running out to the center of the arena, and all of her teammates were like, Simone, get back here. We got to – and she's like, oh, I forgot introductions. She just captured an historic gold in the all-around competition last night. It's the sixth gold of her career. That's more than any American gymnast ever. And shout out to Suni Lee, too. This was the first ever Olympic final where two former all-around champs battled it out. Suni ended up taking the bronze. And I just loved afterwards that she was rocking a gold goat chain, like a bedazzled gold goat chain, and she was commenting on it. She's like, this is just a reminder of like the opportunity I have. She has 5 moves that are named after her. Jeez. Because no one else will even try them, right?
Wow.
She's the greatest of all time. She has a shot at 3 more golds here in Paris, and can't wait to watch it happen.
Yeah, because they're going to start doing like the individual like events. So there'll be vault and uneven bars, and that'll take place here soon, right?
That's correct. So first is the team, and during that team competition, they're all actually trying to fight to qualify for individual medal events as well. So last night was the first of the individuals, which is the all-around, and then you're right, Chris, you have beam, bars, vault, and floor to come. Now, she didn't qualify in the uneven bars. She was one spot out of qualifying for that too, but she qualified for 4 of those 5 individual events.
Okay, so Coy, while we're on gymnastics, can we please talk about pommel horse Steve? Have you had a chance to talk to him? Because I know he's competing tomorrow.
Oh, are you talking about Clark Kent?
Yes.
Steve Nedorosik. Yes, he is definitely taken this Olympics by storm. He has an eye condition. You know, he's got a lazy eye, and he has to wear these glasses to help correct that. He says he can't wear it while he's competing because they'll fly off his head. But he absolutely just went out and secured that Olympic medal for his team. He was the last one to go. He needed to nail it, and he did. He's just a master at the Rubik's Cube. If you see him like pop up on social media, he can like do your Rubik's Cube in like 9 seconds. But yeah, super sweet, energetic, full of life type of guy. Just another one of those inspiring stories from all these athletes the U.S. is putting out.
Coy Wire from CNN, who's right in the thick of things in Paris at the Olympics. All right, every Olympics has some kind of controversy. And yesterday it was about women's boxing. The thing that I don't understand about this, Coy, is, you know, we were talking X, Y chromosomes earlier this morning. We're talking about disqualification of her before. But there seems to be some controversy of the test that she took before in which they kicked her out of boxing, but they're allowing her to box now.
Yeah, so there's actually 2 boxers too, Bert. Imani Khalif of Algeria and then Lin Yu Ting of Taiwan. They're both receiving like massive heat for even being here in Paris. And it's mostly on social media, people who don't know what they're talking about. So Khalif won silver at the 2022 World Championships, but was disqualified from last year's before her gold medal match because the then governing body ruled that she'd failed an unspecified gender eligibility test. It deals with testosterone levels. Now, the other athlete was stripped of a bronze at the 2022 Worlds for the same reason. But the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, just today, they came out with a press conference defending both of those boxers' rights to be here, saying that this is not a transgender issue, like insisting that both women have complied with the rules in place and that they are victims of a sudden and arbitrary decision by the former governing body of the sport. And so they're taking massive heat online. Basically, people who don't know what they're talking about saying boys shouldn't be allowed to compete against girls. And guys, it's not right for guys to play women's sports. And the IOC saying that's not what this is. This is not a transgender issue. This is completely different from some of the other stories like that we've seen pop up, that these women, that we all naturally have different levels of testosterone in our body, and those two in the past have had those tests pop up where it was a little too high. But these are women who have been competing for a decade in the sport, one for 6 or 7 years, the other for a decade in the sport with no issues, no complaints until the big stage and the big spotlight comes on, like the Olympic Games. And now people, it's becoming a bigger deal than I think it should, basically what the IOC is saying.
Yeah, people like a headline, and if the headline is man beats up woman in boxing, then they're going to attach to it and not do any further reading, and that's why we brought it up this morning. It's confusing.
Yeah, they also like a headline that pushes their agenda, whatever their agenda happens to be.
Correct.
We would be remiss if we didn't shout out Katie Ledecky. Oh.
Yeah, Katie Ledecky. Go Stanford. Totally unbiased journalism here, but it's the greatest thing the world has ever seen. So she, as we already know, won the 1,500-meter gold. That's her specialty. She has the top 20 times ever posted in the event.
Crazy.
When she finished, there wasn't another swimmer on the screen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just stupid. And then last night, the Team USA 200-meter freestyle relay team took a silver. And with that made Katie Ledecky the most decorated female American Olympian of all time. Wow. 13 of them in all. She's already won 3 medals here in Paris. She has a chance for more. She's still on a roll, and I have our bid in to be able to interview her after, so I'm hoping that comes through, and if so, I'll let you know what she had to say.
Oh, you'll get it. That Stanford connection, that's going to happen.
And Snoop will put a good word in for you.
Clearly.
I was at her qualifying heat the other day, and there's all these journalists around rushing to get her and waiting, and here she comes, and I was the first one to shout. I said, Katie, Coy Wire, Stanford University. How did you feel about the race? He starts laughing. All the other journalists was like, who the hell is this?
Good for you. Good for you. Use what you got. Hey, man, what are some of the things that we don't necessarily see on TV? Like the chemistry between teams? Is there animosity between teams before they compete against each other? Is it all love? What is it we don't see?
Yeah, it's all by the culture of the sport. I'm sure if anyone's watched it, the gymnastics, you even see that other teams like Andrade from Brazil, she was cheering for Simone Biles during competition, like happy, smiling for her. If you go to skateboarding, it is amazing because you have these athletes from all over the world, and as soon as someone's done with their run, every other skateboarder runs over to them and they're hugging and high-fiving. That was rad, dude. Like, it's so cool. But then, of course, you do have other sports where it's cutthroat, it's savage. It's like you want that mental edge over your opponent, right? Like a boxing, like a fencing, like, so wrestling, like you would never do that. You might give them a handshake or something, but you're not celebrating that way. You know what I mean? So if you get a little bit of everything, Bert, it depends on the culture of the sport.
Coy, my favorite part of the Olympics has always been track and field. I know that we're coming upon that now. Have you had any interactions with some of those athletes, or is it things we should look forward to?
Absolutely. My goodness. How about Sha'Carri Richardson, though, huh?
Yes, sir.
That's on the planet. She crushed her opening 100-meter heat of these games. She finished about 2 meters ahead of the next person. She's 24 years old now. She's someone to watch because, remember, she was suspended before the Tokyo Games due to a positive test for THC. She's the reigning world champ. She's looking for redemption. The semifinals and final for the 100-meter for women are tomorrow, so that's certainly a hot ticket. Another one is Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. She's the 400-meter hurdle champion. She, just at qualifiers, broke her own world record for a fifth time. So she takes action this weekend, someone to watch. She was named co-captain of Team USA Track. And the other co-captain was Grant Holloway. He's the hurdler, and I have been speaking with him. We've been texting, keeping in touch. He's a favorite to win gold, too. Track and field, as you mentioned, Mo, it's like one of the crown jewels, right? It's right up there with gymnastics, some of the swimming and track. Those are your crown jewels of Olympics, and they have started. They are off, and Sha'Carri Richardson started off with a bang.
They're off and running. Feel free to use that later if you want to, Coy.
Just brilliant.
Sad joke.
Coy, one last hard-hitting question here. The way that my TV and the way that the camera angles are set up, it appears to me that table tennis players are using their forehead to serve. Is that true or not?
We need answers.
If they were, I should become one because I got a big old dome. They're just so locked in, so close. And you see some of those close-up pictures of them, and they're like cross-eyed, like looking at the ball because it's like inch away from their face. But no, no forehead slaps.
I thought they were headbutting that thing, man. I'm like, this is all new, man. This is all new.
They're just really getting their head in the game, if you will.
Another brilliant joke.
Man, I'm so not proud to be part of this show. Coy, thank you for joining us. We know how busy you are, man, and you're on top of things. So if you have a chance, maybe next week we could touch base with you. We understand you're working, and that's fairly important. But, man, we love when you call in.
Man, I love calling in to be and spend some time with you all. Thanks for having me again.
All right, my dude. Thanks so much.
The Bert Show.